you were also very thorough and kind of, I didn't really know what to expect from a life coach, but you really explained it in a way that I felt like, yes, that's what I want. And yeah, that's why.
Because I remember you were saying you haven't really worked with one before, so you didn't really know, what to expect. But in that conversation, I think you realized that there could be some use there, some positive tools that you can get. So I'm glad you said yes to yourself.
I did.
So what were your expectations before we started to work together?
So I was dealing with a pretty heavy family situation that was very emotional, and was kind of stopping me in my tracks from living. And so I guess I was kind of hoping, that can help process that situation and, kind of not as a therapist, but as someone to help me kind of just kind of keep taking those steps forward in my life and not getting stuck.
Yeah.
So that's what I was hoping for.
I love it. And that's exactly what we did, just step by step,
Exactly.
meeting you where you were, so you felt supported and safe. And, that's kind of what got you here today.
Yep. Totally was able to help pull me out of that, process it in a really healthy, productive way to really bring me beyond my expectations of at peace with a lot of that, and also just in my life in general, things better.
I love that. Yeah. So tell me a little bit about what was the biggest thing that you got out of working with me, that you just value the most.
I think it's your ability to kind of help me break down something to a point that it's digestible and it's easy to kind of approach and begin to process. Whereas for me, things can get really big and I can get really overwhelmed, and you have this great way of, like, I bring you this huge thing and I'm like, I can't deal with this at all. And you're like, well, wait a minute. There's this part and this part and this part. And it helps me to go, be able to look at it in a way that I don't have to have the whole thing figured out. Like we were talking today, I don't have to have it all figured out. I can just figure out this little bit and then let each one come as it's needed to come. So that's what I value the most. And I use it every day. If I'm dealing with something or someone or anything like that is overwhelming to me, I can go, okay, wait a minute, let's just break this down, because there actually are parts to it, and it's just easier to manage that way.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
So it's like now you have this tool, you've built this muscle up for yourself to be able to see the big picture, but like break it down enough to really tackle what is within your control right now at this moment, which takes you out of that overwhelm, right? Those feelings of confusion of where to go next, what to tackle, how to do it. But it's like one thing at a time, and it's easier to see that now.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that. So what surprised you? What are the things that came up for you from us working together that you did not expect?
I think it was just kind of the comfort level that I've gotten with you, and being able to really dig deep into things that I didn't necessarily plan on talking about, or because, as I said, I really had a very specific need when I reached out and started with you. There was something very specific that I needed to deal with, and I kind of thought that just might be it. And it's been so much more, and so much bigger, and really just has changed not just how I'm dealing with that situation, which is an ongoing situation, but just all the situations in my life and my relationships in my life. So, yeah, I mean, I think I went for one thing, and instead I'm getting everything. So, yeah.
Love it. And I think it's so beautiful the way you described it, because everything is connected, right? It's like, if we work on one thing, everything else starts to begin to elevate, right, to that next level. Just like if we ignore one thing, everything tends to be pulled in that opposite direction. So, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
so true. So who would you recommend my work to?
Honestly, anybody. I mean, it's just a way bigger helpful tool than one might think it is. A life coach kind of sounds decadent, and that you're, all that important that I have a life coach. Or on the flip side, maybe you need somebody to help you just live life. And it's like, kind of, yeah. And it kind of feels good to have that support and guidance. And we don't always agree. I don't always agree with everything, but we have a very healthy back and forth about it. And, um, sometimes you come a little bit towards what I'm saying, and sometimes I come a little bit towards what you're saying, or sometimes I'm like, yeah, you're right. I need to, not have that kind of negative mindset or wherever my thought was coming from. So it's just a very useful tool in your life so it's for anybody. There's no, I would say that I would have thought it was for just one thing, and that's why I reached out when I did. But I would say, even if everything in your life appears to be kind of coming easily, there's always things that can be broken down differently.
Yeah, I love that. And I love how you said, sometimes we don't always agree, and it's true. My job isn't to give you the answers. It's to create the space for you to explore different options so you can come to that place of what feels the most right for you. And, I love that we can just create that together. And sometimes we agree, sometimes it takes time to come to the right answer for you. And the fact that we can create this healthy and safe space, I think is beautiful.
Yeah.
So what would you say to your past self when you were first deciding whether or not to work with me?
Say, do it. Make sure you do this. No, I would say, it's definitely a good decision. It's exactly what I needed, and even more than I realized how much I needed it. The therapy was tossed around a lot or thought about a lot, and for me, it didn't feel right. It wasn't going to serve me the way I wanted what I was needing, and you did this life coaching was really exactly what I needed.
Yeah, I'm glad you actually brought that up, because I think a lot of people aren't exactly clear on the difference between, therapy and life coaching. And, the best way that I described it, and, please share with me if you, agree or disagree, but, with therapy, right, it creates the space to really explore, how you got to where you are, why you think the way you do. It's a space to really kind of get to know yourself. But the next step is, where do we go from here? And life coaching really like ushers you into the action steps of like, what is next? What do we do with this self-awareness to move to where you want to go? Like, what are your thoughts about that?
No, exactly. And I feel that's where I got stuck on therapy, is that that's all well and good, and I do feel like I have some knowledge of myself, that I felt like I really wanted more than that. It's like, well, what do I do with that? And yeah, I agree with you. That's where you came in, and that's where life coaching, I felt, was a better fit for me. It was where I needed to be.
Oh,
Yeah.
And then what else would you like to share about us working together? Is there anything else that, comes to mind?
I mean, I could brag and brag about you all day long. You're wonderful. Just so easy to talk to, and just you push me, you challenge my thoughts, my mindset sometimes, which can frustrate me sometimes, but it's a really good thing, because if you don't have somebody doing that, then you're not going to grow and be able to see, well, maybe I'm not stuck like I thought I was. Maybe if I just tried this approach, then I will, actually make the progress that I'm looking to make. And I did, over and over again. So, yeah, I mean, it's been wonderful.
I love it. Thank you so, so much. And honestly, like, where you were when we first met to where you are now, it's such a drastically different place, literally.
Yeah,
um,
literally.
it's just, I'm so proud of you. And I think, what I'm just deeply grateful for you for is just your willingness to stay open and to, stay curious with yourself. What if I thought a different way? What if I tried it differently? What would that look like? And with that curiosity, you were able to try different things and realized, some of those things were truly like the way that, the goal is to really usher you into constant motion where you're feeling aligned and feeling most like yourself and feeling like you're being true to yourself. And that was the key to, and because you stayed open all of this time, this is why you got yourself here. So I'm just so grateful for you to have stayed open all this time.
Well, thank you. It's been a great journey, and I'm excited to see, as we continue, what's going to happen, because there's a lot of great, exciting things to come.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. My beautiful client just signed up for another 6 months with me, and we're just gonna take over the world in the best beautiful way, where you get to show up as your most authentic self and full of love. And that's what we want, for you to just live your truth and feel really good about all the decisions that you're making. So I love it. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. All of it.